Hi. I wasn't ready, but I'm ready now.
You were born ready.
I'm always ready. I'm sitting on ready. Hi. If you don't know us, we are Victoria Rocca, also known as Victoria Glam. This is my good girlfriend, Katie Schofield. She is an amazing, amazing educator. Go and check out her channel. She's got so many helpful tutorials that you can just watch her hand step by step, and she'll tell you where you're screwing up your PMU. Hi, Katie. Good morning. Afternoon.
Afternoon, I've just got a notification. Watch now, Victoria Glam is live. I'm like, I'm there.
Wow, look at me, famous. Um, so Katie and I want to start this new series where we go live together. And essentially, I've written down some of the most common questions I've seen in Facebook groups this week. I want to talk about the most common questions people should be asking a coach, and us two coaches are going to answer them.
Yeah, I think that's great because I think if you're seeing them, that means that probably many, many people that we haven't already seen have the same questions anyway.
I think so too. I think if you see something two or three times, probably 15 or 30 people have the same question just in that room. So forget all the other rooms I wasn't even in. The number one thing I'm seeing right now is people saying, "How do I even get my business seen? How do I get my first clients? The algorithm is cock blocking me like crazy." So, I know my response. I feel like I say it so often. Let's hear from someone fresh. Katie, how do you feel?
How to get your business seen? I think it's going to take a multitude of different approaches. I think that we can't just rely on one thing anymore, and also I don't think you should rely on one thing because,
Agreed.
as we saw the other day, Facebook and Instagram just conked out. I don't think that's going to be a regular thing because I don't think Zuckerberg makes any money if that happens. But what we can see is things can happen. We see people's accounts getting hacked all the time. So first, that piece of advice for me is don't put all your eggs in one basket.
I agree.
Mhm. Then visible, I think that what we do is we tend to copy other people too much. She's doing before and afters on Instagram. I mean, we talk about this a lot, don't we? She's doing before and afters on Instagram. I should do that. I'm going to do the same thing. And actually, when we talk to students quite a lot, they say, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. I'm putting before and afters. Well, actually, I think you need to dig deep first and actually think and have a proper marketing strategy before you are going to get seen. Because otherwise, it's just going to be, you're just going to look the same as everyone else with your beige little
Yeah.
logo with the twirly whirly writing in. Sorry if you feel attacked.
And the little cartoon that somebody in a Facebook group gave you for free of it's a picture of you with the world's smallest waist that couldn't possibly actually hold you up and a pen like this. Like why? Who told them that's what they needed to do? I'm doing everything I need to do. Who said that's everything you need to do? Who told
Well,
them
I
that?
think that I think that what happens is they just look and see other people doing that, and they assume those other people are successful. So that's your first of the two assumptions there. I assume that this is the right thing, then I assume it's working for everybody else. But actually, when we listen to the majority of people, most people don't have a clue what they're doing anyway.
They do that with pricing too. So many people just they get their certificate, they register with DHH or whatever, they get their shop put together, they start posting on Instagram, and somebody DMs them and says, "What's the price?" And then their sales strategy absolutely sucks, so they immediately think, what is the price?" And they look at the girl to their left and the girl to their right and they say, "She charges 450, she charges 425, I'll charge 425 or I'll charge 400." Cuz I'm new. They
Because
charge
I'm
less because they're
new.
new.
Yeah. Because I'm
It
new. I can't be
they're
charging what they're
guessing.
charging. Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
guessing. And by the way, these two girls that you just based your price off of, they probably have no idea if that price is profitable for them either. They probably guessed their price too. So you think they're guessing strategy. They've never sat down and actually strategized their marketing, just like I feel about their pricing models.
Yeah. Do you think Richard Branson just does that and sits there going, "Well, these airplanes are running at this and that." Different business model.
I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. But they've probably got a big team of people with research and analytics who do this for a living. These people that we're talking about, the people who just graduated, just opened up a business, probably don't even realize they opened a business. Um, they don't have those kind of resources. So instead, I think that, well, first of all, I have an entire playlist that you can watch absolutely free called PMU Marketing over on my YouTube channel. Like if you just go to my page, and there's one that shows you how to price your business. But when it comes to your marketing strategy, I think the first thing that you absolutely have to start with is figuring out who the hell you're talking to begin with. If you don't know who you're talking to, you have no idea what their issues are. So you don't know what keywords to use to perk their ears up and say, "Oh, I should book with you." And certainly you don't know what they're looking for in order to make yourself more searchable. So I think a lot of people in the current stratosphere are thinking, or atmosphere, I mean, are thinking to themselves, okay, if I can't be seen organically on Instagram anymore, then I'll pay for Facebook ads or for Google ads. How do you feel about that?
That's the definitely the wrong way around, because I think that what happens is you don't things don't take off as you think you're going to do, because let's be honest, we all thought that, we all thought, especially me, because I came from a beauty background anyway, I thought all my clients were going to have their eyebrows done, like all of them. And then, some did, but when I'd exhausted that, I was like, oh, now what? So if you're not getting seen on the platforms like Instagram, Facebook, you automatically assume that the next step is to pay for it, which personally I think is like, you might as well just go and set fire to your money, because you don't know how to market, you don't know who you're marketing to, so you're just going to throw this huge net out and catch all sorts of people that you don't want anyway. And it's as Mindy says, you just opening yourself up to a lot of expensive conversations.
It's so true. It's so true. And these bots that are going around right now are out of control. If you don't know, A, how to set up your marketing ads, or I've heard this example so many times that you shouldn't hire out for a position you can't do yourself because you don't know if they're doing a good job or not. So if you don't know how to run your Facebook ads or your Google ads, and you don't even know how to check and see, like, you're looking at a chart and you're like, I don't know, is this performing well? Is this average? Is this better than average? Is this good? Is this hitting the people that I want to hit? And you're waiting for the person you're paying to tell you that they're doing a good job. You like you said, throw just light the money on fire. How am I going to say,
Completely.
okay, let me hire you. I want you to do this for me. Now, is it working? Are you doing a good job? Do you
Of
think
course
that
it's
they're
having.
going to say no?
Yeah, it's going great,
It's
honestly.
great. It's you. You're the problem. You don't know how
Yeah,
to
it was
close
you.
these leads?
Yeah.
Well, they're not wrong when they say that. If you don't know how to
That's
close
true.
leads, you have no idea, you have no business purchasing a ton of leads. Most of those leads are going to be shit. Facebook ads are shit. Google ads are shit. They just are. But you have to sift through all the shit and find the diamonds.
That's
You
what
have
I said
to.
yesterday. I was like, I'm sifting, and I am at the moment sifting through shit. I'm getting some diamonds, but I know what's shit.
Yeah.
I know what's shit and what's diamonds.
That's the thing. I think so many people, when they're brand new, when they're fresh in the industry and they're desperate to earn some of this money back because they've just put all this money into their, not only their first class, but then their licenses, their fees, their insurance, purchasing the actual bed, buying a whole pigment line, everything else that goes into it. They're desperate for some money because it's sitting on credit cards just growing, and they still have their regular bills. So when the first person messages them and says, hi, yeah, this looks great. What do you charge? They just immediately throw out a number, and then they're shocked when they get ghosted, or they don't
Hmm.
know how to control the conversation or how to qualify a lead, which is honestly the first thing that you should do is qualify your lead before you spend all this time talking to them. I do a whole lot of qualifying leads with mini chat, manny chat, with bots that ask like qualifying questions. If they're answering in the correct way, then I'll actually let Thela get on there and I pay her to do messaging. But if I can see that it's just a bum lead, I mark it as spam and we move on. But I
Hmm.
think a
Yeah.
lot of people are so desperate for that to become a sale that they're going to treat every single lead like, I mean, you're spending probably 20 minutes in the evening because that's when you're not actually working, right? Or when the person's actually responding because they're off work. 20 minutes per lead going back and forth, having the exact same conversation over and over again while you're trying to cook, while your kids are asking you questions, while your husband is complaining about something. You're answering the same conversation over and over again. You're going to start to hate ads, actually.
Yeah. I think it's
Where do you
very
start
easy
with
to hate
strategy?
ads. So with strategy, yeah, the first thing you can do is target your ads better and actually decide who it is you're going for and only market to those. Oh, here we go. We've got a comment here down below. Mindy Churchill sounds familiar. Better be unattached to that outcome. Now that's something that Mindy herself teaches so much, that desperation, people can smell it a mile off, and it
Oh,
actually
yeah.
puts people off. And absolutely, I'd say that that's one of the things about me is I am actually busy, so I'm unattached to the outcome. It's like come for your browse or don't. I
Yeah.
know I'm going to be able to help you, and obviously I'm not rude to people like that. But essentially, it is I'm not that bothered if I lose people. It's not that desperate a decision for me. So first of all, that is how I answer things. And I say no to very, very, very many people because I know now after years of doing this that these are people I don't want. So qualifying first of all, have they got previous work? How can I give someone a price if I don't know, if they got previous
Anything
work?
about them.
Yeah, anything about them. What's your price? Well, I don't know who you are. Have you had, and have had people even recently booking themselves in and not reading my terms and conditions and then getting upset when I turn them away because they've got previous work.
Well, listen, not all previous work can be worked over. And a lot
Mhm.
of times there's a big difference between what the client sees when they look in the mirror at their previous work and what we see when we look at the client's previous work. And I think that's where newer artists are thinking you see this a lot in Facebook groups. You see pictures of somebody's face with faded red or faded gray, and they say, "Is this light enough to work over?" Baby, if you don't know the answer, don't work on it because you're not qualified. And I say that with love. Like you're going to wind up putting out work you don't like, and that'll be walking around with your name. But they want the money so badly because they've made this big investment, they need to pay themselves back. But anytime somebody said this on the radio yesterday, and I was like, oh, gospel, love it. Won't he do it? He put that in my life right when I needed to hear it. Essentially, the radio host said, if you're doing things the fast way, I promise you it's going to be the longest, most expensive way.
Oh, that's so true.
Mm.
So true.
She really ate that one up. I was like, oh, that's a good one. The fast way is the longest, most expensive way. That goes right up there with cheap brows are the most expensive brows.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and I will hold my hand up, and I think all of us will. I've done brows I shouldn't have done,
Oh, oh
and
yeah,
and and
sure.
I,
In
and
the
it wasn't
beginning of
that.
my career.
Yeah, and it wasn't that I also was unqualified. I thought I was qualified.
Yeah.
I was like, I can color correct that. I can turn that grey up brown again. Just trust me. I know what I'm doing. I've been taught.
I
And
trust me,
then
that's all I need.
but I believed it, and then I was like, "Yeah, that's not working." And now I did just like saturated grey brows. Goodbye.
God.
Just yesterday, someone sent me, and there was really heavily saturated grey brows, and I had to remember to be kind because what I don't want to be is really cutthroat and be like, "I can't help you," but essentially,
Yeah.
I can't help you. And I really did say, "I don't even need to put you in for a consultation. I can tell from these pictures that are so helpful that your brows are too saturated for me to work over." And she was like, "Oh, what am I going to do?" And I was
Find a
like,
laser, baby.
laser.
Find a laser real quick. I think you're onto something there too, in that I think a lot of newer artists don't really have the verbiage to know how to say no. Even if it's not the work itself, even if it's just especially actually, especially if it's red flag behavior, they do not know how to say no. And I think in the beginning of your career is when you experience the most bullies in terms of clients. These are not actually your clients. These are people who know that they can't bully the girl next door. So they come and they try to bully what they want or whatever with you because you're new and they can smell the fear. And these are the people who text you at midnight threatening you when you told them that it was going to flake off and be lighter. They disappeared. I spent $500. I want my money. Like, girl, I'm going to sleep. I'm going to sleep. So a lot of people answer that by saying you need better forms. I think you probably have fine forms because a lot
Mhm.
of this stuff is, the haircut law. It'll grow back. It's not a big deal. The color will come back. It's not a big deal. Or you already signed a clause that said you understood it was going to lighten up, or that it could heal patchy, or that the retention is totally up to your body and your immune system. Whatever. Instead, what you need is verbiage. You need to be
Mhm.
able to know what to say and how to say it confidently.
Yeah.
And that's where we're seeing a lot of people turn to Facebook groups and saying, "How would you respond to this?" And
Yeah.
it's this
How do I
huge
Yeah.
break in the privilege of confidentiality by exposing somebody's text messages to them. Here's what my client said. Here's the pictures of her eyebrows. What would you say? I could tell you what I would say, but like you need to start adopting some of this language on your own. What was
Mhm.
can you think of something? When I hear these things, I immediately think of my first client that I had to like nut up to and be like, absolutely not. Don't fucking text me anymore. What do you think of?
Oh gosh, there's been a few. Do you remember there was one recently that I gave her her money back, even though I was not
Yeah.
in the wrong? And I was just like, and I actually said, I just want to give her her money back and be done with it. Like, just
Yeah.
because I don't even want to speak to her anymore. And you went, why can't you? And I went, oh, no, no, I can. and I'm going to, but I'm going to draw a contract up and stipulate what giving you that money back means.
Yeah.
Don't ever talk to me again.
I also have had one person, it was a student actually, that I had sign a breakup agreement. She was just balls to the walls out of her brain, man. Like I dory things, I forget things that happened and you remind me. I'm like, who said that? And you're like, You told us that." Oh, really? But this was on another level. This was crazy. This was on another level. This was going from yelling at me at 11 p.m. to and like being just loud and wrong, like as wrong as she could possibly be, to then sending me a YouTube link for her new music that she put out and asking if I thought it was good at midnight. Like you got to go, baby. You can't. Bye. So yeah, I had her sign a breakup agreement, which she happily signed, and then she was super confused why I wouldn't work with her anymore. And I was like, we broke up. Did you forget? But the first time that
That's
I
what
had a
that means.
client, yeah, it even said separation agreement at the top. So I don't know. The first client that I had who was really, really trying to throw her weight around and bully me, she was trying to intimidate me. In the room, she was telling me she was a doctor and she understands why we needed all this medical information on her forms. She loved that we had all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. She's reading her forms. And then she was like, at some point, you kind of just start signing things, you know? That's not very doctor of me. And I thought that was weird that she said that, but
Hmm.
maybe she was being playful, you know? Okay. So I do her brows. We made her 8 week touch up appointment. We go about our merry way. And I was pregnant and had just had a baby. So I had a baby in my arms and a baby in my belly. That throws your emotions off and your brain fog is out of control like no other, you know? So her brows look great. That this affected none of that. But as she's starting to message me, it felt like I was emotionally vulnerable at that time. Plus, my 1 year old was really sick. So she started texting me, well, why does it look like this? Why does it look like that? And it's always the bitches who can't take a picture of themselves. Why are you sending me a picture of this? Like, this is a photo of your forehead, sweetheart. Like, can I get a picture of this? Can I get a picture of this? Why is it this? I don't, and foggy. Like, I don't understand. So she starts sending me pictures and telling me that, she's missing a piece right here and why are they light, whatever. And I'm like, refer to your insert. It literally says, don't call me for 4 to 6 weeks until all the flaking has subsided and your color starts regenerating. We went over this. Well, I didn't know it was going to be a 2 session event. I said, no, you did. You signed it. You did. We talked about it and we made the 8 week touch up appointment when you checked out. Like, we definitely talked about this. Well, I didn't know she was just basically trying anything she could to try and get her money back.
Yeah.
And I said, listen, it's a Sunday. My child is sick and I'm sitting at a walk-in clinic waiting for him to be seen by a doctor. So I cannot continue this conversation with you. If you want to call me during business hours next week, we can discuss it more, or you can just refer to your aftercare insert that's got all this information on it. So she sends me another terrible face photo talking about she's a doctor. She's a doctor. Okay, well, Doc, I'm going to need you to get your secretary, who probably, your receptionist, who probably does all of your forms for you anyway, to take a look at these forms. And I keep mine electronically. So I just logged in where I keep all my forms and I screenshot where she said it would be a 2 step procedure. I screenshot where she signed that it was going to be light and faded. I screenshot where she understood that it would be an additional cost for the touch up. I screen all of it and I started sending it to her. Boom, 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 text, 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 text. And then I blocked her and I told her that I would not be honoring her 8 week touch up. And I'm telling you, in that moment, I became a man. You can't text me anymore.
Yeah.
And
Well,
come
what
to
is it?
find out, do you know what she is? Do you know what kind of doctor she is?
Oh, probably a doctor of philosophy.
She is a chiropractor who hasn't practiced in 20 years because she trains horses.
Okay, right. So
Okay.
eyebrow expert then. Eyebrow expert.
But I
But
think when I say this story and with such bravado of like, I've got the biggest willy in the room, I think that that empowers other young
Mhm.
artists to say, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So many of them are like, I can think of other people who have come to me,
Yeah,
even in my town, saying,
yeah,
oh, this lawyer came to me and got her brows done. She's threatening me, or this doctor, or whatever. Their job doesn't matter. They signed the form. Make sure you have a good form and then speak directly, curtly, and as professional as you can make it. I mean, I didn't curse at her. I didn't say I have a bigger dick than you.
yeah. But I remember, yeah, this was the same with the person that I kind of got rid of. It was just, you're not listening to me. You're not, and then so it's pointless. And also, she wouldn't keep still while I was working on her. I nearly got a needle stick injury, and I had to keep saying, "If you do not keep still, I can damage your eye." And then
Yes,
she's like,
that
I just feel like you're being really aggressive with me. And I'm like thinking, I'm getting there. I'm
I'm
getting there.
about to.
I'll be honest, this is your eye.
Monday that happened to me. Monday, I'm happily, quietly minding my business, tattooing. I'm doing some shading on the right brow, so I'm sitting on this side of her. Why did she reach up and scratch her eyebrow? I said, "Did you just touch my needle?" And she said, "No, I'm fine." And I said, "No, I know you're fine because there's no blood and you didn't scream. But did you just touch my needle? Because of course now I have to change my needle." And she's like, "No, it's fine. Don't worry about it." Your casual attitude right now is the most alarming part of this whole thing. Like, what? She just reached up and scratched her face while I'm tattooing.
Yeah,
These are the people who come from ads, though. And it's not that if you came from an ad, you are inherently less than. That's not the thing. It's
no,
that they are not as exposed to you and your content. So they're not as
bingo.
educated on the procedure. They're not as educated on what to expect afterward. They're almost like jumping the gun, you know?
And they don't know you. They don't know you.
Yes.
Whereas
There's no
people that are,
trust.
yeah, so you're just the brow girl. Whereas people that have been following my Facebook page or my Instagram know I'm Katie Schofield, and they'll have seen the way
Exactly.
I work, and they will already feel like we're friends. Whereas someone that you haven't had time to really nurture within an ad, and I think that that's massive. I remember who someone said that, oh, you can tell she's a Facebook ad girl, and it is just because they'll rock up and they don't really know much, and
Yeah.
it's and that is why we have to, if you're doing ads, make a good job of nurturing people within your responses. You can't just throw prices at people because you're just going to get price shots, and that's why we always say with ads, you need to learn organic marketing first.
You absolutely have to. So, just a quick rundown because, of course, we don't want to make this live 3 hours long.
Yeah, yeah.
Organic marketing means knowing who it is you want to walk through the door, creating content that speaks to that person, and then nurturing them over a period of time until they are ready for the conversation, and then knowing how to have a structured sales conversation and how to close it.
I wonder how many artists, when they hear that sentence that you've just said, think, "Yeah, that's what I'm doing." I bet it's not many.
I bet half of, so if there were 10 people who heard me say it and four said, "Yeah, that's what I'm doing," only two of them are actually doing it.
Correct. Yeah, because people think they're
Let's
doing.
never forget the lady who posted the same picture 5 days in a row and told me she was doing what she was supposed to. Same picture. And it wasn't a picture of her work. It was a picture of like a lamp with some words, some text on it. And she posted it on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday, on Friday. And she was like, "I've been consistent." Consistently daft.
Yeah,
I you really need a plan. You have to, and then you have to kind of train yourself. I spit that verbiage out like I were reading from a teleprompter, but it's all up here. I've just, it's second nature to me. It's like saying the Our Father. I know what word comes next, you know?
yeah, same.
You,
And that's the wonderful thing, that when I get people that come to the door, they say it all the time. Oh, I feel like I already know you. Because
yes,
and it's like, good, because that's exactly what I've been trying to do. I want you to,
exactly.
and that I don't want that to sound manipulative. Oh, that's how I wanted you to feel. I want to connect with people on a personal level so that they feel that they can trust me with their brows. That's what I want. So when they come to the door and say, I feel like I already know you from your content, good, I've done my job.
Yeah, because there will be no miscommunications there. Communication's going to flow freely and easily, and you guys will really understand each other on the level that you need to in order to make this. Because it's, listen, what I do in the treatment room is only half of it. You have to understand how to go home and heal, and also how to keep your scruples because I told you they were going to change a bunch of times. You know what Shay told me? She said she likes to tell students to use the word disappointed. So in the consult, before you get started, when you do the pre-draw and you map it out and the client looks at it in the mirror and says, Oh my god, I love them. That's perfect. Oh my god. She says, "So this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna put this on today. They're gonna be darker tomorrow. They're gonna flake off, and there will be a point in time during this healing where you feel disappointed.
Preempt it.
Don't call me."
Yeah, yeah, and I actually do use that word with people, especially because of my ideal client. Generally, is a little bit older. She's a little bit more nervous. She will take her time and research someone that is that she trusts. She trusts me because of the content that I put out there, and feels it can only be me. And I use that word a lot because I know what she's going for, and they're always frightened of it being too dark, too bold. They don't want the snatched big brows, and so
Yeah,
I'll always say I would rather you be disappointed and us touch it up and go darker than us have done too much. And they always go, "Oh, I'm on the same page." So they're already prepared to be a bit disappointed.
that's
And
good.
then yeah, and so so I just don't really get people who are well engaged with my content feeling disappointed, or if they do, they were like, "You said this would happen. I'm ready to go. I feel confident to go bolder and darker." Great, excellent. Let's do it in stages.
I agree. So once you've mastered that system, then you can ease into Facebook ads and Google ads because you'll already know what keywords to be looking for or listening for, and you'll have like your spiels ready to go. So the more confidently you say things, the more trustworthy it is, you know?
Hmm. Yeah,
So next one, I think a lot of people who are in the twilight, not the twilight, that's the end, right?
it's the end.
In the beginning
Dawn,
stages. In the
dawn.
dawn, thank you. In the dawn of time. In the dawn of their permanent makeup careers, they're thinking to themselves, okay, I could get better at permanent makeup. I could take another class. Honestly, I could take another class, but they're so expensive. What I need is more money to come in so I can take another class. So then they think, well, I need business coaching. But then they get to the business coaching and it's so expensive, and honestly, I mean, is that the work that you want to put out there promoting? Is that what you want everyone to see? Is that the first impression you want to make? You're going to learn how to get the reach, but then the posts that you're making are of subpar brows. So it becomes this chicken or the egg thing of like, okay, do I get another class or do I start working on the business? Because another class isn't going to get me seen by more people, but being seen by more people is not going to make me better. What are your thoughts?
I totally understand that, and I think it's easier to convince people to take another class because that's what they think that they should do. Because people think that that's going to be the magic bullet, but actually, you don't have to choose. I would do both. I would be
Agreed.
working on both.
I
Why
would marry
choose?
them.
Yeah, put them both together. Get skills and business coaching at the same time.
Yeah, that's exactly why you started. Well, listen, I was going to say why we started, but you started VIPMU, and I thought it was $1 million idea. Actually, Mindy said it was $1 million idea, and then I said I feel left out.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, that's what I could see being the issue with people is that I could see people just investing in another course, another course, another course, but having no idea how to market themselves. And also people with great work. I mean, gosh, I don't want to name names, but I can think of someone in our group at the moment whose work, my God, is spectacular.
Out of control, good.
Like, insanely good. She did one set of lips on latex, and I was like, are you taking the piss here?
Who really did those?
Are you trying to make us all look bad? But yeah, her marketing is not there, and so it's a case of both of them together. You need both of them. Honestly, you do. You need
You do.
both those things.
So, you guys, don't panic about that. If you can't find a program in your area that offers both true business coaching, meaning marketing, scaling, and sales, and skills techniques married together, don't worry about it because we work in the US, in Canada, and the UK, and we don't charge $10,000 at all. Not even close. Not even by half. Not even maybe half of that. And we keep our groups really small, which I think is unique to us. We're not just trying to shovel as many people in as possible. We keep it somewhere between 5 and 10 people per
Mhm.
class. That
Yeah,
way we can always see your work and we can actually do real improvement with your work, not just shoveling
yeah.
them in. I think that's so respectable of you when you created this program to say, nah, it's not going to be my full-time job. It's not going to be anybody's full-time job. We're going
No.
to give a group of students at a time as much focus as they need for their projects, and then we're going to go back to work. If
Yeah.
somebody has made coaching you their full-time job and they don't do the thing, they lose their competitive edge
Yeah, because the market that we're in is changing all the time,
all the
not just
time.
with skills and skills. I mean, let's be honest. Since we've got into this job, skills have changed totally,
Sure.
but also marketing is changing all the time as the internet changes, as business changes. Things are changing. So if you've been out of the loop for too long, do you know what you're talking about anymore?
No. And you'll see those techniques start to fade even on the marketer's marketing. If you're doing so great, why do you have
Yeah.
2 views?
Exactly, exactly. So that's the thing. I think that's a great thing about us is that you can going to get that feedback because the group sizes are so small.
I agree. Okay, so here's what we'll do. I am going to hop off because it's time for me to go and tattoo a client. And I will just leave the VIPMU link below. And I'll also go ahead and link to that marketing playlist. So if you're having trouble with organics, you can jump to it. And if you're having trouble with skill set, just head over to Katie's page because she's got a video on everything you could possibly think of. In the
Absolutely.
meantime, if there are coaching questions that you have, burning questions, leave them for us in the comments. And when we do our next Coach the Coach, we'll answer those questions.
Catch you later.
Thank you, Katie, for showing up today. I appreciate your time.
Bye.